You are now tuning in live to Bitch Guess What?
Bitch guess what? Bitch guess what? Bitch guess what? What? How do these bitches be guessing? Bitch guess what? What? Bitch guess what? What? Bitch guess what? How do these bitches be guessing? All of my bitches be guessing. Who they be guessing? Half of them stressing. Y'all need a lesson. Hold up in line, one at a time. Baby, I get to your question. Cause this ain't operation. Educate the population. Bringing all my bitches to the forefront of the conversation. What? Bitch guess what? Bitch guess what? How do these bitches be guessing? Bitch guess what? Bitch guess what? Bitch guess what? How do these bitches be guessing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? So hi, welcome. As you can see, it's just me right now. Oh my god, I look like shit. But it's okay, it's not a big deal. It's not a fucking fashion contest, right? But as you can tell, I'm here by myself, which I don't fucking love because this is supposed to be a trio, but it's cool. You guys know it's not my first rodeo. I'm sure we can figure out shit to talk about without these fucking losers that didn't show up today. Actually, Sonia just canceled like last minute. She texted me and she's all, I'm not gonna be able to make it, blah 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 blah, last minute, right? Lucho, however, is just MIA. I sent him the link. Hopefully he joins at some point. If he doesn't, it's just you and me, guys. I don't even have like lip stuff, nothing. This is cool. Let's see. I'm gonna start off by checking on who. I'm so glad you guys showed up though, like at least 4 of you. Makes me so happy. Keith, what's up, Keith? Loyal listener. Nelson, what's up, Nelson? How are you? Hassam, tuning in from Dubai. We are international up in this bitch. William Lewis, what's up? How are you? Haven't seen you here in a while. Nelson says, Happy No Nut November. Are you actually going to stick to that, Nelson? I already failed, so. Anyways, let's see. Happy Halloween, happy Taco Tuesday. I actually dressed up this weekend. Maybe I'll post a picture here. I don't know. If you guys follow me on Instagram, so you probably saw. Hassam did not. But I dressed up as a witch. I wasn't going to do that, but I got invited to a party or like a birthday celebration kind of thing. It wasn't a party. We actually went to a bar. I danced my little ass off. I said little, it's not, but I danced my ass off. It was a good time. Drank a few drinks. Got home, crashed out. You know, was a little tired the next day, suffered mildly. That's okay though. I guess I'll just like get into it. Here it is for reference. Hey, your girl was a witch. So I got this bodysuit like a while ago for a boudoir shoot last year, and this is the first time I ever wore it out. I had a hat, and I was like, I'm just gonna go be a witch on him because I have all black. Like, how hard is this, right? And so that's what you see here. Boots I used to wear to work all the time, my normal black jeans, and this boudoir bodysuit with this dope ass hat I've had for like a year or two. So there you go. That's the pic. That's what I look like for Halloween. Right? Super cute. Oh, Hassam's not on Insta. He didn't see it. How sad, Hassam. Why aren't you on Insta? That's weird. That's random. Let's see. I have a whole list of topics of things that we could talk about. But maybe you guys should kind of help me out here. What do you guys want to talk about? Is there anything specifically? I typically don't ask, the audience or people what they want to talk about because I'm a really firm believer of if you don't have anything to say, then don't talk, kind of a thing. Like, um, but you ain't riding no broom with that ass in a vacuum cleaner. You're stupid cute. Um, but yeah, so I'm a firm believer that if you don't have anything to say, why have a podcast? Like, don't say, I'm going to create a podcast, just create a podcast and then not have anything to talk about. Obviously, I have hella shit to talk about. Like, I literally keep a notes app in the phone. I share it with Sonia and Lucho so that we can all write things as they come to us to discuss and bring to this platform to have a conversation about with you guys. Lucho's, as you guys know, his comments or his notes in the thing, we were kind of laughing at him, kind of making fun of him last week because they're so random, like just like random shit that comes to Lucho's head. You guys know how he works, how he operates, his personality at this point. I guess I'll say something if you guys don't have anything you want me to specifically discuss. I can just start talking about shit that I want to talk about. That works for me. I was thinking about something today. And it's because it's November 1st, which happens to be an ex's birthday, right? And it got me thinking about how I've heard, there's a lot of ways people feel about this. Sometimes people say it doesn't hurt, it's not a big deal to reach out and say happy birthday to your ex, right? And then there's people who say, absolutely fucking not. They're your ex for a reason. Let it go. Like, do not reach out to them. Do not say happy birthday, right? And it is Dia de los Muertos, yes. But I think that it depends. I don't know. Okay, so I understand the people who say absolutely do not reach out. You have no business talking to each other. They're an ex for a reason, blah 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 blah, right? Um and I did not reach out to this ex to tell him happy birthday. Like for me, it's just not something that I care to do for any reason. Like I hope he's off living his best life and like I don't care. I don't want to hear anything about it. Not in any kind of bitter way. It's just none of my business. I don't care anymore. I just wish him well and that's that. But there are people that I'm like it didn't end on a bad term, like there's no bad blood. That I feel like if enough time passes, like it might not be that big of a deal, but I think it's one of those things where you kind of got to know what's going on in their life and that you also don't want to do the spontaneous happy birthday and say they're like in a relationship already and that's just not something they were cool with or you caught them off guard or whatever. I think it's one of those things where if you remain friends with the person afterwards and that maybe it's appropriate, but I think if not, then it's not appropriate. What do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. Yeah, let's see. Hassan says he thinks it depends on the type of relationship you had and how the breakup went. I'm friends with about all but one of my exes. Yeah, so and you guys are friends in the sense that you kind of keep in contact here and there, so it wouldn't be a big deal and it wouldn't be like, blindsiding them by telling them happy birthday is what you're saying, right? And I think that's the only way that that this could work. Like, I never talk to this guy ever, haven't in hella, like, years, right? So I don't think it would be appropriate to randomly reach out to him and just be like, "Hey, happy birthday." Like, I just don't think that that's okay. I don't think that he would appreciate that. I don't know that if he was in a relationship, like, right now, I don't know that she would appreciate that. I just think it's a bad call, bad move, not good for business, not gonna do it. Um, let's see. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? No? Yes? Maybe? Hassam does? That's it? Just Hassam? Okay. I don't know what the lag here is too, like between me talking and then what you guys type or whatever in the comments. But yeah. Um, if nobody has anything to say, oh, Keith says you have to go on a case by case basis. There isn't one right or wrong answer. I agree. I think it's totally circumstantial. William says, if you broke up on good terms, I think it's all right. Okay. Hassam says, I think the question is, why would someone blindside their ex like that if they're not actually in touch? Yeah, I think it's like slightly manipulating, right? Like, even if it's, and maybe it's like an unconscious thing, right? Because, like, there's some people who don't realize they still want that connection or that access or that, you know what I mean? And I think that they say things and do things like random messaging, but if you're not even doing that throughout the time that you're apart, I think it's weird. I think it's a weird thing to do. I said all that to say it's his birthday. I did not text him. I don't think it would be appropriate for me to text him. And I think that, we Keith, you're funny. All my exes blocked me. I used to drunk text. Yeah, don't drink and text. That's really dangerous. Really, really dangerous, especially with an ex because the feelings, right? Like, I know that, like, after that, like, last kind of breakup-ish weird thing, the I don't know, the end of I wasn't even a relationship, but you guys know what I mean. You guys were here. You listened to me through all that. Um, I didn't drink because I couldn't drink and not think about him and get sad, and I didn't want to end up texting him because I did do that, like, once or twice, and so I thought it was better that I just don't drink for a while, because until I'm, like, comfortable enough and over it, you know, so that I don't fucking text him. That's really what that came down to. Um, let's see, who else is saying what? A tribute is the only thing the ex that I'm not in touch with is getting. You're stupid. Hassam, we gotta wish him well and move forward. I think that too, it says a lot about people. Like when you listen to the way that people talk about their past relationships and their exes, um, I have definitely been the person, at times in my life where I was like, I didn't have anything nice to say because I was hurt, like I was coming from a place of hurt. And even if I felt like enough time had passed and I had been moving on and moving forward, talking about that person would trigger the feelings, right? So clearly it wasn't completely healed like I thought and felt it was. Um, and so I think that when you listen to people and the way that they talk about other people, it says more about that person than it does about the other person. And like they could have been the monster that you're describing them to be, right? That could be absolutely true. But like all I'm hearing is you yourself have not done what you need to do to like heal and really um be in like a healthy place with yourself. And um I don't know. That's how I see it. I've definitely been the other person. And like now I feel like I'm in a place where I don't have to say negative things about the person, or you know what I mean? This last one I don't really have anything negative to say. But I yes, I know what you mean by tribute. Um But, I mean, unless you have a completely different definition that I'm unaware of, Hassan, like, let me know. Um, but yeah, I say that to say that. This is very strange. I haven't okay, so you guys know on Side Friend Chronicles how it went from being the duo with Jimmy to just me, right? And so when you podcast solo, it's not this show up unprepared shit, right? Like them not showing up today, her canceling last minute, and him just not showing up today. Um, it it didn't give me the enough heads up that I needed to be able to sit here and really podcast with you guys, right? Like I did in Side Friend Chronicles. So all those solo casts, um, like, sure, I'm a natural. I can come on here, obviously, shoot the shit, talk to you guys, but the audio of this is gonna be kinda whack because they're only listening to me. They can't see the conversation in the chat, that's happening. And so when I'm talking to you guys who are here in the chat and then I'm derailed mid-thought because I'm trying to, like, converse with you guys and interact with you guys and respond to you without actually reading what you say, then the audience that only has the audio platform to listen to this podcast doesn't really they can't really connect, right? And when you're podcasting solo, it's a completely different game in the sense that it actually takes time to prepare. Like, you have to come to class with not just a little talking point. Like, I would do actual research, um, on the things that I wanted to talk about and write down the things and even have maybe some tabs open to, like, read resources to you guys to, like you know what I mean? Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Um so this winging it shit off some last minute canceling and no shows is hard as fuck. I'm saying I'm a lot. I kind of have no like actual direction or path that I want to speak in. I feel like I'm talking just to hear myself talk. You know, you guys are doing a really fucking dope ass job of making me feel like I'm not alone because that would extra suck tonight. You know, there's been times where we've podcasted and there's like hardly any people like on, right? And that's always a sad thing, but it didn't matter because we still had each other, and then people could come back and listen to it at a time that was convenient for them, right? Because doing this at 7:30 on the West Coast, it's 10:30 on the East Coast. It's whatever fucking time it is in Dubai, Hassan. It's so people will listen to it when they have a chance, but at least there's a conversation that they can kind of tune into. This here is harder. It's trickier. I am completely unprepared for it. Um, Not particularly happy with my co-hosts. I hope Lucho's okay. Haven't heard from him. Sonia, bullshit, 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 bullshit. Let's see. What else could we talk about? Oh, it's 7 a.m. in Dubai. Nice and early. Nice and early. Here's something I want to talk about. Pendejos, yeah. I know I could have canceled today, but because we had already posted it on social media and broadcasted it and advertised it, like I didn't want to cancel. So it's all good. I'm here. Um, it's fine. We're gonna be good. We are gonna be great. So I made a note in my note thing for something I did want to talk about. Um, I'll read the note to you guys so that you know where my thoughts were, like verbatim, and then we can expand it into a conversation. My note in this says, "Fake it till you make it?" question mark. A lot of women constantly posting on social media talking about body positivity, but if you're actually okay with it and love yourself, why the constant need for validation? I said, here and there, I totally get it, but your daily content, it doesn't sound like you love yourself quite yet to me, but at the same time, it's your pursuit of happiness. So go ahead and get it, and I hope you find it. So this comes to me because obviously I follow people um who are constantly posting like this, right? About body positivity, constant selfies, constant all these things with captions about, how important it is to love yourself, right? And so if the goal is like obviously this is not even any of my fucking business. Like everybody has um the right to do whatever the hell it is they want with their social media platform, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to like think about it and really, I don't know, try to understand for myself, not even having a discussion with them because it really doesn't matter. They're allowed to do whatever they want. Again, go on with your bad selves. Um Now for me, there are times where I post memes that say something profound or some quote or something, and sometimes even if it what it says, I'm not saying it, it's like a vision board. It's like putting it out there. Hopefully, this is a goal I hope to one day reach, right? And so I'm thinking that the people who are constantly posting the body positivity, love yourself shit, and the like I mean it's like their daily content, right? And to me, I'm like, that's not indicative of somebody who actually feels that way. That's somebody who's trying to get there. And maybe this is something they need to tell themselves every single day, and they're sharing it, maybe as an accountability thing, maybe to get somebody else on the journey with them to love themselves. Um, you know, but at the other piece is like I think you need to do more than just that, right? Um, and I feel like if you're doing that all the time, then that looks to me Again, I don't know. This is me making assumptions, which I hate doing, but for the sake of conversation, here we are. Um, that you're not doing all the other work required to achieve that goal. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah. What do you guys think? Let me see. I'm gonna check the chat here. Hassan says, "Do people do it to find validation, or they do it to lift and support others that might need it?" I mean, I think both. Like, I think that if you're putting yourself out there on social media, it's not an easy thing to do, guys. Like, there are people who make it look easy, holla, right? But it's not. It's like putting your own personal business on there it's a vulnerable share. You leave yourself open for criticism, for judgment, for people to make fun of you. Like, this shit happens, right? And so, like, I commend people for having the courage to do it. But, like, I will say right now that I am somebody that I know is I'm very confident in how I look and who I am. And, not there's more ways to, like, add to 9 than 5 and 4, I get that. And that just because I don't feel the need to post that kind of shit every day doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm totally understanding, like, I see this from so many different directions, but again, trying to have a conversation with myself here on this podcast, so here we are. Um, Keith says putting themselves out there is probably a big step for them because they probably don't have self-confidence. Exactly. So this is why that's why I opened it with fake it till you make it, right? Like, I think 100% that that's kind of necessary. Like you're trying to push yourself, like, after a while you're going to train your mind. It's going to become a habit, right? To, like, feel this way and all these things. But I just think that hopefully on the back end, the parts that people don't see, the work is being put in there as well, right? I think that it's only problematic when this is the only thing they're doing to try to um, achieve this goal of, like, self-love and body positivity and all that. If that makes sense, let me know. Also, not trying to, like, rain on anybody's parade. I really, really, really do support everybody's journey. I think it's great, however the hell you need to get there. It's your life. But these are just things that come up for me when I see things and observations that I make, and then I try to think about all the different ways to think about it, and I'm expressing it here. I'm verbalizing it here. It is my platform, and I'm allowed to do that, right? And then people can feel how they want to feel about it and have conversations outside of it about it if they'd like. That's their choice. I put myself on here to do that. Um, I'm hoping that this platform and this podcast is definitely something that people choose to discuss outside of here because I mean that's I feel like the point of podcasts, right? Like, whenever I listen to a dope ass podcast, like, I want to talk about it with somebody, right? I want to talk about the things that they talked about. So I think that's the whole point. Um, yeah, let's see. Hassan says, "I can rain on their parade, just don't piss on their barbecue." I would never do anything of the sort. Um, so yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that. Does anybody have any other input they want to put on that? And then I think I'll talk about one more thing and call it a night. What do you guys think? Cool. Um, y'all can't respond fast enough for me. I can't just like sit here and wait for the cue, like, to get it through. So here we are. The bag. The bag. What is the bag? When we hear people talk about the bag, um, we always associate that with money, right? Like people are chasing the bag, they're only focused on the bag, getting their bag, this and that, right? Money, 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 money. And I get that because in this society and the way that this world is built, we need money. We need a lot of it just to even like get by, survive, be somewhat comfortable. We need money. And the way that society is structured now, capitalism, etc., like of course that's what people are hyper focused on. And with social media, right? It's like totally pushing this chase the bag um mentality, right? But I think that when you get to a certain age, right? Like everybody knows, or most people know that when you're on your deathbed, you're not talking about um man, I should have made more money, right? Like nobody's thinking about that. And so I think that like the idea of the bag is so fucking backwards. Like to me, like I've always said this, and this is something I had to fake until I believed it, right? And now I 100% believe it, so I'm going to say it. I'm the fucking bag, right? Like people, your relationships. Like I think that also the way society is built, you go further together than you do by yourself. And a lot of people don't believe this because they're trying to do life with the wrong person. Like there's a huge lack of authenticity and integrity in people. And there's a lot of people who don't do the work on themselves, right? Like, and I get it. It's not just out there, right? It's not just like free help and coaching, and we don't have this emphasis on mental health and these things in our schools and our systems. So, of course, people are walking around with their wounds and not really knowing who they are and why they do the things they do. And they're not really trying to explore it. The shit is painful, right? Like, thinking about how you're getting in your own way, nobody wants to hear that shit, right? That's not a fun conversation to have for yourself, with yourself, by yourself, from your loved ones. Nobody wants to hear that, right? And so people, um, they avoid it. They avoid it. And so the way that that comes up though is like relationships, how you operate inside of relationships. And um and so you end up being with people who aren't actually for you. Like I think that because you don't necessarily know who you are and you're not really in tune with what you want and what your values are, and people are like boundaries are hard to hold firm for yourself and with other people. And people are so afraid to be alone that they'll compromise themselves and how they think, how they feel, and what they want in order to keep people around them. And I'm like, this is me. This was me and it's not anymore, right? Because the blessing is in the redirection, right? Rejection is redirection, and that's where the blessing lives. Because when you are living your authentic like self and you are not compromising any piece of who you are, what you desire, what you want, then the wrong people make their way out of your life, but it leaves space for the right people to come in, right? And so when society is very much like not um not recognizing that the bag is like your relationships, right, with people, I think it's because they're with the wrong fucking people. And what they've witnessed throughout their life and relationships around them are not healthy relationships either. And there's this, and there's a lot of religion that ties into this, right? That like if you get divorced, you're a failure, you're a sinner, and instead of just facing the fact that like this person isn't for me. Maybe this person was for me at a certain point because I needed them in my life to learn these things about myself. Um and now you're damned to hell if you fucking get a divorce if you're Catholic or Christian or whatever the fuck. Um And I think that people need to have more like honest conversations that are hard, that are kind of against the grain and more supportive of the hard shit, right? And I think that once we do that, then we're going to be able to actually value relationships because you'll have the right people around you. And then it's not till then where the majority of people like get on board with this, that like that culture shift maybe starts to mildly happen. But this other shit is so powerful, right? Like money, 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 money. It's all we fucking consume all day, every day. Like social media, it's all about the money, rewarding people who literally have zero fucking talent, zero value to add to the world, but they did a dance on TikTok and now they're fucking famous and they get millions of dollars from this bullshit. Like this is crazy. I think that when we constantly have that kind of a reinforcement in our face, it's why, and it's on purpose, right? Like you keep people distracted and wanting this and keep this in their face, then they're not going to focus on the shit. And when they're not focused on the right shit, then they're going to continue to make money for all the people who, you know what I mean? Like you guys know how I think in my conspiracies, and I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think everybody fucking knows this, right? If you have a fucking brain. But yeah, so uh let's see. Hassan says, I think the bag changes for most people as they progress in life. Keith says, friendships, family, and people that love you, maybe that's the bag. I agree. I think that's exactly what it is. Um, Hassan agrees that that is the bag. That's me. Like, I'm the fucking bag, right? Like, I think that, there's people who are like, and that's how I see myself. I think that, you know, two people who are actually aligned can go further than one person by themselves. So that's just how I feel about that. Is there any other input? I'm getting text messages from Sonia and Lucho. They're yeah, Lucho's okay, thankfully. And Sonia had something come up. So held down the fort for about 40 minutes. I think that's pretty good. I think that's long enough. I think that a lot of things were said, maybe little short versions. It could have been huger conversations had I had the heads up from people ahead of time and been able to do the research and bring all this shit to you guys the way that I used to do on Side Friend Chronicles when I solo casted. And here we are. I think that that was good enough. I think I showed up. We did the best we could with what we had. Hassam says he's the bag, a ball bag. Keith says he called his wife an old bag and she got mad, but it was a compliment. You guys are so silly. I love you all who showed up and listened to this, and hopefully the people on audio get some kind of value from these little points that were mildly discussed here. Make sure you guys tune in to our next episode. Hopefully in 2 weeks I'll have my co-hosts here. It was just so last minute, I didn't want to cancel. So here we are. Next time, hopefully they're here. We'll be fucking around and laughing and doing all the things. And then if you're not subscribed already, obviously hit subscribe, hit like. It's free. It costs you nothing to be supportive. Follow us on Instagram at bitch guess what. That's B 3 I's TCH guess what. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, William. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Hassam. And Nelson, who was on earlier. I really appreciate you guys. And have a good night. Bye. Oh, and I hope your guys' Halloween went well. So, and I mean, you guys are here, so I know you survived it. So, yeah. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
You are now tuning in live to Bitch Guess What?
Bitch guess what? Bitch guess what? Bitch guess